Before we get into today's show where we preview the Broncos-Chiefs matchup, help us settle an office debate we have right now here at Chat Sports. What is the best pizza topping? Comment your favorite one down below while the intro video rolls. Pepperoni, sausage, or is it my personal favorite, all of the above? Let me know what you're loving down below. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. We got a full preview coming up for you guys where we're going to go over a handful of things, including the upcoming playoff picture and, of course, the preview of the Broncos-Chiefs matchup. We'll check out the standings, and then we'll wrap up the show looking at the latest injury report coming out of Mile High, see where everyone stands in terms of who's going to be playing on Sunday night, Bridgewater status, Garett Bolles as well. So all that coming up. But first, let's get into the preview with just a bit of a taste here. We're going to whet your appetite with some notes here between the Broncos and the Chiefs on Sunday night. Denver, last win versus Kansas City. I don't need to say it more times than I have to. Week 2, 2015. And what's interesting is since that win, there is only one player on the roster currently. That is the kicker, Brandon McManus. Everyone else has not been on a Broncos team that has beaten the Chiefs. As for Kansas City, they look to make it 12 in a row against Denver, and they're currently in the midst of a 4-game winning streak. And here are the opening lines, thanks to BetUS. Broncos are 10-point dogs, which I know Teddy 2 covers is chomping at the bit right now. Meanwhile, it's a 47 total points for over-under. I kind of like the under. Well, we'll talk about it later on. But predict the score for me. This is the pinned comment on today's show. Broncos-Chiefs. Who you got? By how much? You liking KC? You liking Denver? Let me know what your score predictions are down below. It's the pinned comment, so just scroll on down and reply. AFC West standings read as follows. Chiefs open up at the top 7-4, and then you've got a logjam between the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. All 6-5. It's that AFC record being the tiebreaker for the time being. But here's the playoff picture currently looks like. We're just going to run through this quickly. Denver on the outside looking in at 6-5. But they got the same record as the Chargers, who are in the mix right now at 6-5. So Denver, I would say, controls their own destiny. I would say that for Vegas, Indy, and maybe Cleveland, outside of those teams, and I guess Pittsburgh as well, a lot of help needed to get in. But that's what the AFC playoff picture currently looks like. Here's what the Chiefs have done as of late before we get to the Broncos side of things. They are coming off a bye. And the last couple games have looked pretty good for KC. They've won 4 in a row. Outside of that Raiders win on Sunday Night Football at Vegas, the offense hasn't looked pretty, but the defense has stepped their game up. As for the Broncos, their last 5, they look like this. They've got that one win coming up after the bye week against the Chargers at home this past Sunday. After that, kind of up and down, you got that weird loss against the Eagles, which was just not pretty altogether. But before that, they were kind of rocking and rolling. That huge win at Dallas and then a win at home against Washington. So that's what the Broncos have done as of late. We're going to get to more in this preview, but first, comment. Can't stand the Chiefs? Type me. There, you are not alone if you hate the chefs out in KC. So spam me in the comment section if you cannot stand the Chiefs. Speaking of the Chiefs, these Chiefs aren't those Chiefs, okay? It's unfortunate that Denver could not have played Kansas City earlier. I've got 3 keys coming up, but first, these Chiefs, they are a lot better than the Chiefs we all saw and would hope that those Chiefs would continue throughout the entire season. Here's what the Chiefs defense has done lately compared to the start of the season. First 7 weeks of the year, they're letting up nearly 30 points per game. Last 4 games, just under 12. So a huge decrease. Now it helps when you play Daniel Jones and Jordan Love and even Derek Carr. But still, this Chiefs defense has dramatically improved across the board, letting up over 100 yards less each game, passes down, rushes way down, and in fewer games they have more turnovers. So whether you want to attribute all that to playing weaker quarterbacks or getting better on their own end, I think it's some combination of both, but no doubt about it, they are improving. We've got more of this preview coming up, but first, check out our friends over at BetUS. Our sportsbook partner has an awesome deal for you guys that's not going to last forever. 125% deposit bonus, and all you need to do is go to chatsports.com/bet. Plug in that promo code right there, Broncos125, and you are plugged in for an awesome 125% deposit bonus. In English, you put 100 in, you got 225 to play with. Week 13 odds look like this. Chiefs 10-point favorites. I'm trying to remember the last time Broncos were 10-point underdogs. I was an idiot and bet against them. Well, not bet against them, just didn't take them down in Dallas. So Teddy 2 covers. He loves a good underdog matchup, and he's got 10 points on the road, and he's been great on the road as well. More on that to come in just a moment. But now my 3 keys to the game. If I was on the Broncos coaching staff, it would look something like this. Key number 1, score a lot of points. Not that simple, okay? We're not talking Air Bud here, where if you score more points than the other team, by golly, you're going to win. Thanks, John Madden. But I think there's something to be said about the Chiefs. When they lose, it's not because necessarily their offense sucked, but the defense got blown out. Now, it also is unfortunate that all 4 of these losses happened in that early window of the poor Chiefs defense. But look at this. Week 2, surrendering 36 points. Followed up with a 30-point defense allowed performance in Week 3. 38 to the Bills on Sunday night, and then it honestly should have been more against the Titans. Tennessee kind of took their foot off the gas, but look at the trend right there. Teams that have beat the Chiefs this year have done it by putting up a ton of points, and so that's going to put a lot of pressure on Teddy Bridgewater to follow suit with that. Speaking of Bridgewater, we're going to get to him in just a second, but listen, Broncos fans, subscribe right now or else. This is what the big wigs, the big cheese here at Chat Sports said. I'm not going to say that, though, you don't subscribe, the Broncos are going to lose. I would never let those words come out of my mouth. But do you want to leave it up to chance? Do you want to be that guy sitting on the couch? Or even if you're going to Arrowhead on Sunday and you're thinking, oh, I wish I subscribed right now so that we'd have all the good mojo. Because listen, when you have lost 11 straight games to your rival, just do whatever you have to do to get that streak over with. If that's hitting one big button, then make that happen today. Subscribe right now. Like I said, the Broncos offense needs to come to play if they want to take down KC. And I'm looking at these 3 guys, Jeudy, Sutton, and Patrick. All 3, well, 2 of the 3 just got big extensions, and Judy's hopefully the future at that position. I think he absolutely is. But none of them have played super well together, okay? Jeudy was out, missed a handful of weeks in the middle of the season, and Sutton and Patrick went off. Now Judy's back, and haven't seen much Sutton the last couple of weeks. So it's going to be really interesting and honestly very important for all 3 of these guys to play well at the same time. But these 3 wide receivers are going to be an awesome future for Denver. But who is your favorite wide receiver of the bunch? JJ for Jeudy, CS for Sutton, or TP for Patrick? I think Tim Patrick's the answer, where if you say Tim Patrick at a bar talking to someone about the Broncos, you're in a lot of brownie points, because Patrick is the kind of player that if you watch him play and don't just look at the numbers, you see what special of a player is. He's always such a good target on key 3rd and 4th downs. He does a little bit of everything. He doesn't just excel at one spot and lack at others. That's enough of the Tim Patrick fan club over here. Let me know who your favorite wide receiver is down below. Key number 2, give me vintage road Teddy. Vintage, actually. Give me every road Teddy, because here's the funny thing about Teddy Bridgewater. Not only is he amazing at covering, he's also pretty darn good when he's away from his home field, outside of his comfort zone. Look at the numbers of Teddy Bridgewater on the road in his career. Completion percentage higher on the road than at home. Same for yards per game. He's got a way better touchdown to interception ratio on the road than compared to home. He's actually got 25 interceptions at home in his career compared to 16 on the road, and he's above 500 for on the road. Not too bad, honestly. I know 18 and 16 isn't the sexiest thing you've ever seen, but think about it. On the road, only a handful of elite quarterbacks have an above 500 record when they are away from their home field. And Bridgewater, he gets to slot in that very top elite community. So give me road Teddy. Key number 3, Sunday Night Football. Everyone's going to be watching the Broncos on national television prime time. So let the rookies show out. George Paton has been awesome so far with his draft picks, and now it's time for the whole country to see that, and not just whoever the Broncos are playing, their fan base, and Broncos fans themselves. And I'm looking at you, Pat Surtain. You've been dynamite. You coming off an AFC Player of the Week award, and you're also going up against Tyreek Hill. So a big test for him. He's got to go up against a handful of what he calls world-class speed at the Kansas City wide receiver position group. But it's not just going to be on the defensive side. They're also going to need help from this guy, Javonte Williams. He is just a menace to bring down, and he's the kind of running back that in the early goings of the year when everyone's healthy and's got tons of energy, you don't mind tackling him. But when Williams is playing in December and he's running over you instead of going out of bounds and he's taking every possible yard, that's a nightmare for a banged-up defender. So I'm looking at those two rookies to really pop off on Sunday Night Football under the lights, under the big cameras of Sunday night and the whole NBC crew. So those are my three keys to the game. The offense needs to step up. They got to go pace for pace with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's kind of Captain Obvious talk right there, but I think it's absolutely necessary. You need the good Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy's been a little inconsistent all season long, but we want the old vintage Teddy Two Gloves. And then, of course, you need the rookies to shine on Sunday Night Football. My score prediction for this one, I think the Broncos cover, but I just feel like I'd be lying to you if I said that the Broncos are going to go out and beat the Chiefs. I hope I'm wrong. I hope everyone tells me on the next Broncos Breakdown after the game's over during the recap, hey, Matthew Peterson, what were you thinking? But for now, I've just got to stick with my gut, and unfortunately, I got the Chiefs winning, but the Broncos covering, so you get a minor victory in that. Finally, the latest Broncos injury report heading into Sunday night. It is Wednesday, so we get a sneak peek now at what things are going to look like on Sunday. And here's what head coach Vic Fangio just released, actually what the Broncos just released. Teddy Bridgewater is in. He's not going to be on the injury report, so that shin injury will not keep him out. Gordon is dealing with not only a hip, but also an ankle injury. He did not practice today, being Wednesday. Reisner's out with a back injury as well. Kareem Jackson is limited, but is expected to go. And then Garett Bolles, he is questionable with COVID issues, but it is optimistic that he will be able to play on Sunday. So that is the biggest Broncos injury report we have as of right now. We'll see you guys later here on the Broncos Breakdown.